Never had to pretend, never had to pretend. Haven't heard anyone better since I picked up a pen. I pull it deep from within. That's why I'm destined to
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Kyle with the Pickle Podcast here, and I'm with artist ExZackLee. ExZackLee, tell him what's up.
Hey, what's good with y'all, man? What's going on, man? Exactly what the game needs. I'm here to have a good time and talk about some shit. Let's get it. There's that chance, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You be sitting on the porch and then one of the babies just screams or something. And it's like, what the fuck was that?
I know how you feel, bro, because like when my back door is open, like I got a back door to my yard, like a second level.
Mm.
And like when my kids are like yelling at each other, they're playing like games about like battles and shit.
Yeah.
My neighbors like be peeking around the corners and everything, like wondering what the fuck is going on.
I feel you, bro. Like, you gotta remember, I got 5. I said you gotta remember, like, you should know, but I got 5. I got 4 boys and 1 girl, you feel me? And my house is just a madhouse. And I'm the only house on my block that has young kids. Like, everybody else that has kids, they've been through this phase, but they're past it now. I'm the guy on the block where I guarantee, hey, if you don't go lay your ass down, you know what I'm saying? Like, ain't nobody else doing that, man. Like, but it's cool, man. It's a blessing. You know what I mean? I can't complain. It's not their fault they're here. I brought them here, so you feel me?
Right, exactly.
That's the point.
Do you think it's like an issue nowadays with like fathers actually being real fathers out there? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like if they're actually doing stuff that they're not supposed to be doing, like I've actually seen like fathers in the grocery store be like, hey, don't be doing that shit and like get over here, you know, and some lady will be looking at him like, how dare you talk to your child like that? I'm like, that's actually how I probably would have wanted my dad to talk to me if I was doing something stupid like that, you know? But
yeah, facts. I think this generation of fathers, I feel like as a whole, we've stepped up in some capacity, you know? I feel like everybody is doing their best to be fathers. I also know a lot of guys that are fathers that the mother of the child, for whatever reason, like holds the child hostage against the guy because, you know what I mean, he don't want to be in the relationship or whatever. Obviously, you still got men out there that do what they do, you feel me? But I feel like as a whole, at least the collection of people that I know in life, you feel me? I know a lot of good dads out there, man, that do their thing.
Yeah, I don't know many fake fathers out there, so to speak. Like you hear, I live out in the middle of like the Midwest, so you know, like there's not really many like there's a lot of like small families around here. You know, there's not many like crazy. There's not much crazy stuff going on. But as far as like, you know, like crazy dads at like a basketball game or something like that, we got those. That's about it. You know.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
But so you're out in actually Maryland right now. I know that you had lived in West Virginia before. What brought you out to Maryland? How long have you been out there for?
I lived in Maryland for the past 7 years. And honestly, that's where I met my girl at. And then we just ended up having kids. And then I was like on some real dad shit. Like, I'm not leaving. Cause I lived, you know, like my home base is like 2 or 3 hours. Well, not 3, like 2 hours from here. So, you know, like if I were to make that jump for any reason before, it would be impossible to see my kids on a daily basis. And like, I grew up, my parents were divorced and shit like that, you know, and I didn't want my kids. Like, I wanted to be every day, you feel me? Like, ups and downs, round and rounds, all the bullshit. Like, I just wanted to make sure I was present. Because I feel like in some regards, like, granted, I have a cool relationship with my stepdad and I have a cool relationship with my dad, you feel me? But growing up, I feel like I didn't have like somebody who was on my ass. Like you know what I mean? Like you said, like if I'm doing some dumb shit, I would have liked somebody to be like, bruh, quit fucking up. You know what I mean? On some man shit though, like, you know, that person has genuine, like it's from a genuine place when they're telling you shit, you know what I mean? And I don't feel like I had that. So I made it like a point, like I have to be there for my kids. Like whether I get on their nerves or whatever, like, especially with my sons, you know, like the world doesn't want men to be men, I feel like. You feel me? like the world we live in. So I just, it's imperative, bro, for sure, for men to be
Do you
present.
think that like, do you think the world doesn't want men to be men, or do you think it's our generation kind of recoiling from like the fathers we had growing up? Because I wish my father would have been a little bit harder on me. He was a little too easygoing and let me get away with a little bit too much. And I think if I would have had more discipline, maybe I would have been better. So I'm a little harder on my kids in that regard than he was on me. A little more protective too. I don't want to be like a, you know, what do you call it? Where you just like always hovering over your kids or whatever. I don't want to be that. But do you think it's like do you think it's a mix of both? Do you think it's like a sense of responsibility on our generation, or do you think it's actually like the society is actually going that way?
I think what you said, like how we didn't have a lot of discipline, or, you know, I definitely blame the past generation for how our generation acts. You know how like all the old heads always are like, well, y'all's generation's this, y'all generation that. The crazy part is their grandparents felt the same way about their generation, you know?
Yeah.
So, but I do believe that in a sense, at least for me, like I was saying, how based upon my upbringing, I wanted to be more disciplined and have more just shit in place so that my kids could be on point at all times. I do also think though, like society is pushing that, like they're pushing the narrative of like femme men, you know what I'm saying? They're pushing the narrative of like the shit they put in cartoons, the shit they put that your kids watch, that your kids indulge in, you know what I mean? There's a lot more different like scenes and situations and movies and stuff that weren't in stuff like that when we were kids, you know?
Yeah.
And just like how soft people are, like I'm not a man who says don't display your emotions, you know? I tell my sons all the time, like for football or stuff like that, like if they lose or something happens, I tell them cry in the car. You feel me? Like get your emotions out, but don't get it out in front of all these random people.
Right.
You're giving people what they want, you know, like the team, not only did they beat you, but they also saw you cry. So now it's like one leg up on them even more than just getting the L, you know what I'm saying? It's an emotional factor to that. And at the end of the day, I just want my sons to know that this world, unfortunately, is not going to give a fuck about your problems once you get to a certain level, a certain age, you know, like it's gonna be like, man, figure that shit out, bro, you know.
Do you feel like you need to protect them from what's coming ahead, being that their generation may experience even worse hardships than us at this point? I mean, we're both millennial, on the borderline, you know, millennial, Gen Z, Gen Y, or whatever, Gen Z. Yeah. Do you think that on the side note, like, do you think that the younger generations have more or less hope as far as what's going to happen?
Man, it depends on what lens you look through that through, you know, because I do believe in some way, shape, or form, like a lot of these kids are entrepreneurs off the rip. The ones who like go the distance, you feel me? Especially on TikTok, at least I've seen with TikTok oriented, right? Is the ones who can get the kids to dance, or like anybody to just do a dance to it. And then you know how the dances on TikTok just go crazy. So I think that makes it like fair game in the sense of like, you just got to be an artist, bro. You got to make some cool stuff. Like if you can make something that makes the kids pop, the youth run the world, man. Like the youth are going to generate where the narrative of somebody else goes. Because it starts with a kid hearing a song, and then the mom or the dad hears the kid singing the song. You feel me? And then it just bleeds like that. So from the TikTok aspect of it, I think it's like an open playing field, you know what I mean? And I think that's what scares people in higher places, because it's one of those like, bro, anybody can just today, you feel me? Like snap of a finger, like real live, like just bong, be gone. And it also I do feel like it makes it easier for people that don't have great social media, you know, presence. Because if you got bars, that still brings people in. You know?
Right.
I think it definitely
scary
helps.
Places and scaring the higher ups, and maybe even having a TikTok viral song. I have a sample I'm going to play for us right now.
Recognize that I'm amazing, I recognize that I'm amazing, Said I'm a man on a mission, I'm a man on a hunt. I'm a true rebel at heart, so if you tell me it's right, I'll probably still do it wrong. Still promise I mean no harm. Pull you in with my charm, but deep inside I'm a dog. Quietly I bark, but I aggressively charge. I brainstorm a lot, constantly I got a spark. I speak that realness that could never be taught. Hey, said I was once in the streets, thank God I never was caught. heart. Many obstacles I faced, I overcame them all. So don't tell me it's impossible. Hey, look yourself in the mirror, boy, it's possible.
Yeah.
All right,
That's
so you
a
caught a little
jam.
bit, you caught a little whiff of maybe, was that an older song that you did, or how recent was that?
Yeah, that's a couple of years old. That's my joint Amazing. It was 2021 when I dropped that song, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like when I was like really building a little bit of a push, and then life was just life, and you know what I mean? And I kind of like took a whole break, almost like kind of considered like just letting it go for real. And I was like, nah, because it's my passion, it's what I love to do. So that's what made me pick it back up now. Because I just feel like I don't want to be that guy who's 60 or 70, 80 years old and regret like, damn, bro, I could have did something. You know what I mean? And I didn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Or like, yeah. So, and I feel like I connect with people. It's my way to connect, spread the word.
Do you feel like that's the way that you connect with people, is by like sharing either your ambitions or your personal experiences through your music? Because I feel like when I was looking at your samples, I felt like that was a lot of the common theme, like things that are going on in your life and stuff.
Yeah, I try to be realistic, man. I try to have a song for every situation. Like no matter what situation you're facing or you're in, or if you're having a good time or if you're going through a break, you know what I'm saying? Whatever life can do to you, I always wanted to have something that was there for somebody to connect with. You know what I mean? So yeah, I definitely believe that pushes my narrative, and I just want to make real music. I don't want to cap rap.
Yeah. Do you think that it's harder to get to where you want to go by making honest music, or do you think that there's artists out there that are doing that right now, or where's the challenge there?
I think it is harder, but I also think right now it's, and hip hop, I at least will say, we're like in the middle of a shift. It seems like it's a lot of things going on, a lot of moving pieces that's going on. And I think in a way, like people are tired of hearing the same shit, tired of hearing the same message, the same vocals from just a different face, you know, a different voice, but they saying the same exact shit. So I do believe that it is difficult, but I feel like right now is the time if you make that kind of music. It's just like fashion. You know how like in the 80s one thing was cool, in the 90s one thing was cool, et cetera, et cetera. I feel like it's like that with music too. Like one wave was whatever, the next wave was something else. You know what I mean? It's with everything.
I feel like it's being held back. Like today, when I was just leaving work, I put on the new Future. It was Future album, and it had The Weeknd on it and Metro Boomin. Right.
Mhm.
So I'm playing that, and I'm like, how many times has this man said Rari in a song and it didn't feel old as fuck to me? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, but that's
Because
like one
I
of
feel
those
like,
people.
yeah, go ahead.
No, you're good. I don't want to cut you off. Go ahead.
Man, I just feel like it's being held back by the industry, and also radio play, and the fact that people almost like, there's almost like a barrier on new stuff now because everything gets repeated so much, in the media and everything. So I'm not sure what your take on is that with like AI and music and stuff like that. Do you think that like there's going to be like a revolution soon as far as like original music coming out and like not messed with, like mastered, actually like they used to master it, like not generated and stuff like that? You think there's going to be a change?
Man, I don't know, bro.
Like
AI is
grassroots
scary.
rap?
Like fuck AI in music. How about AI just in life? Like
Right.
that shit's scary, bro. Like I ain't gonna lie. Like it's crazy. Like you can really like type in, and I don't know if it depends on which version of the AI you use. I don't know all that, you feel me? But I know if you type in Drake trap song, that bitch a fucking 30 seconds, it'll have a whole hit. And it'll
Right.
sound just like him almost. It's crazy.
Right. I think there's going to be, as far as that goes, I don't think AI is being used for good right now. It's mostly like malevolent forces. Like it's either going to like tell companies how to make more money off of you, or make fake music, or plagiarize art, or like put actors out of work. It's not being used for like the best thing. Do you think that there's better uses for it possibly?
Yeah, for sure. I also feel like, bro, like they were talking about this shit. Like I really believe they be telling this shit in movies, you know what I mean? And I feel like our robot is gonna fucking have. I don't know about like robots actually like taking over the world, but I can see like every house having a robot. Every, you know what I mean? Like they're very
Yeah.
intricate, taking jobs, taking like, yeah, actors is one thing, but we're talking about like just taking the normal person's like, you know, scanning. Like think about now, like you can go to almost any fucking restaurant or not restaurant,
Hmm.
but like store in America and self checkout. You can do it yourself. Like I know that's
Exactly.
like, you know, that's a small ass whatever, but that's still somebody that could be pumping the economy and feeding themselves, and then instead they would rather replace it with a robot. I think
Hmm.
in that way, that's what's gonna hurt us in the long run is all the jobs that it takes. And then you're gonna have people having to do whatever they gotta do to get something on the table. You know what I mean? Like that's what's scary about it. And the fact that they aren't using it for good. But I don't think the purpose of it is for good. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I think when you got people like Elon Musk, who I think is brilliant, but I also think he's just crazy as shit. You know what I mean? When he's like, "Yo, AI is not safe," like you just probably leave it alone, bro. And this is the guy who wants to put chips in your brain. You feel me? Like,
Exactly. So
yeah.
you were talking kind of about how like everything's in movies, right?
Hmm.
Well, check this out. Okay, this was actually a goofy video I did the other day, and I was just joking around. I saw a Doritos bag with some art on it, and I was like, wouldn't that be funny if it was like the whole Maui burst thing and the Hawaii disaster, right? So I was like, it looked kind of like the same art or the same artist. So I was like, what if this actually happened, what's happening on this Dorito bag? So I made this stupid video. Bear with me how stupid it is. It's actually a troll video. Check this out.
Just gonna do all the conspiracy theorists a favor here and predict that somebody's gonna spot a megalodon in the Bermuda Triangle right after a tsunami caused by a volcano. You heard it here first, guys. Conspiracy theorists, go ahead and come back to this video whenever this happens, okay? Because I got your back. They predicted it. Megalodon sighting, Bermuda Triangle after a tsunami caused by a volcano.
I made that video
Hmm.
2 days ago.
Right.
Let me show you something. What we have is a volcano, right? Caused by a tsunami. Was that the first part?
Yeah. In the Bermuda Triangle.
Indonesia issues tsunami alert after volcano erupts on remote island. Indonesia volcano eruption sparks tsunami fears in Indonesia. Indonesia evacuating thousands after volcano erupts, causing tsunami threat. So this thing's like a volcano, and it may collapse into the ocean, causing a tsunami. The weirdest thing is that I made this video 2 days ago, just like, hey, I saw a Doritos commercial. I decided to make fun of the bag and say
Right.
that happened. What do you think about that? Do you think that predictive programming is like actually purposefully happening, or is that the collective consciousness coming through and like manifesting on a bag of fucking Doritos? Because you cannot lie, that's sort of a little bit weird of a coincidence, when you might say.
Oh yeah, bro. I think it's more. I think predictive programming is real in the sense of it desensitizes us. So like when we do see something, instead of us being like, "Oh shit," we're just like, "Oh, whatever." Like think about all the
Yeah.
videos like before where it's like, you didn't all right, like videos like somebody getting shot in the street or something, right?
Mhm.
That's not something you saw all the time as a kid. But
Right.
now you can go online and I could pull up 100 fucking videos of such and such got shot. And at the same time, I almost feel like it desensitizes you to like if you were to ever see it, like it would probably still shock you because I've never seen somebody physically be shot. But at the same time, you would be like, it's not like it's not the first time I've seen it, you know? And I do,
Right.
but I do think that at the same time, that's crazy as shit though. Like that's crazy. It does make you think. And I feel like that's on purpose too. I feel like it's on purpose, bro.
Right.
Because it's just a mind fuck. No matter which way you look at it, you feel what I'm saying? It's a
Yeah.
mind fuck. Like, damn, am I really thinking this right now? Or did this shit just fucking happen because it was supposed to happen? You know, like, and you just sit there and question yourself. It's just like when your phone, you say something, you have a conversation, you feel me? And then an
Yep.
hour later, it's like, hey, you want to buy some shoes? Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
I think it's desensitizing them too. And I think that you can find that in a lot of examples, like the Civil War movie coming out. What I think what you mean by that is, and tell me if I'm right, desensitizing means to normalize it, make it seem like a joke, make it seem like it's just something that would happen in a movie, because the possibility of it happening would almost desensitize you to the point where you didn't react to it in a way that would necessarily guarantee your survival. Would you say? I mean, it could get as deep
Right.
as that.
Hey, you on the right track. You feel me? Like, I definitely do believe that. Or just like the movie Leave This World Behind, or I might be fucking up the title, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I would assume you do anyways.
Exactly.
That shit could really happen, bro. Like, without a doubt, it could really happen. And I feel like it sparked people in different ways. Like, for instance, my mom, who never was really into any of this shit, and when I was younger, and I would tell her like, this is why this is like, you know what I mean? And she'd be like, go basically on some like, shut up. Like, I don't believe that. I don't believe that shit, you know?
Mhm.
And I told her to watch that movie, and I told her about some other stuff. You know, I'm always just throwing ideas out there to her when she talks about certain things. And she watched that movie, and you know, she was like, that's a little crazy. And then now she's starting her own garden. You know what I mean? She got long range walkie talkies. You feel me? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, see, I told you all these years you was like thinking I'm crazy, and here we are.
Yeah.
And, you know, like it's real, man. And this is just the world we live in. Is just, it's just unfortunately set up that way.
I
Like,
think it's actually controlled by AI. I think that the weird things that happen, like the Mandela effect, where, you know, like the Tinkerbell isn't on the Disney logo anymore, or something, like the peanut guy doesn't have the monocle, or the Monopoly guy doesn't have the monocle anymore, stuff like that. And then you have the fact that you're being tracked for everything you say. And then, you know, the predictive programming, things coming through like the Berenstain Bears, like the Simpsons predictive programming, where they basically come out with these ideas that basically replicate in real life. There is a theory out there that the reason this happens is to keep us from exceeding our threshold, because we basically are either AI or are controlled by AI. And if we wake up to the fact that this is actually happening to us, the whole system implodes. So there's systems in place to keep us down, to keep us, how you would say, blind to the reality that may even spell our escape from whatever system we're in, because lately it does feel kind of like a trap, to be honest.
yeah,
The way that
yeah,
the
bro.
works.
Oh yeah, they don't give a flying fuck about any of us, bro. I think that it's almost like a simulation sometimes, like where you just feel like, you know, you get in those like routines of like, I went to work, came home, I ate dinner, I went to bed, I went to work, I came home. And then after like 4 or 5 days, I always tell my girl, I'm like, man, this feels like I'm just in a simulation. And I do believe that systems are in place. Think about this, like at the end of the day, bro, there's more of us than there is them.
Right.
If we all were on the same page, and we all stuck together, and we all, you know, didn't argue about the things that they want us to argue about. Like, they want us to argue about religion. They want us to feel like, I'm Christian, you're Muslim, so let's argue about it. You know what I mean? They want us to be like, oh, you're black, I'm white, da 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 da. Like, they want that shit to be in place. You know what I mean? Now, granted, are there certain particular groups of people that like they do the bullshit that is talked about in this world? Yeah, that, you know, that comes with any group of anybody. Nobody's perfect, you know. But at the end of the day, it keeps us separated, Republicans, Democrats, when in reality, none of them give a fuck. Like I said, you feel me? It doesn't matter what party they are. They're not our party. They're not for the people. They're for themselves. They act like it's all a facade. Like, oh, I don't fuck with you, you know. I think that also goes into like, you know, like them all being controlled by being in some type of scandal on the low. And that's why they sign all the crazy bills they do. Because it's like, if you don't sign this bill, we'll put out this video of you getting fucked. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
He Diddy
like,
style, right? Because they have,
yeah.
why are they all filming each other? That's weird.
No Diddy. But
who'd have thought that blackmail could run our government? You know what I'm saying? I thought that was just in the movies.
man.
Al Capone times happening all over again, to be honest.
Right. Everything is greed related.
Yeah. Totally, man. It's all greed related, and nobody, and it all seems to come from the same people.
Mhm.
You know, it's not necessarily like your boss's boss that's the greedy guy. He might have a yacht or whatever, but it's the person who literally owns the corporation that you never see that's making our decisions now, because it all trickles down.
Mhm.
You mentioned that it seemed like every day was like the same, like waking up, going to work, coming back, and then it's the same thing: sunrises, sunsets.
Mhm.
Have you ever thought about like predictive programming in the movies? Like a lot of it's pretty like pretty dooming, like pretty somber, like, oh, doom and gloom, like this can happen. What about like the movie Groundhog Day, where the guy's like living his life, he's living the same day over and over again, he keeps making his own mistakes and shit like that.
Mhm.
Like he keeps living it over and over again. The way that he gets out of that is that he learns to help others. And that's almost like, it's almost like sometimes movies might teach you a lesson about like even like faith, and that movie might have been about Jesus, like who knows.
Mhm.
But like some of the, like, I feel like there's good movies, the classics that they don't play anymore, that really have actual real themes that teach you real lessons, like, you know what I'm saying, like Miracles of
Mhm.
Christmas, like actual miracles, not like fucking Bad Santa, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
where did all the old movies go? Why do you think that we've strayed away from all the wholesome themes?
That's the message they want to be put out to the world, you know. I don't know exactly what triggers it. I just feel like that's what they want, you know. They want, it's all a mood thing. It's a mood stabilizer. It's a mood shifter. Hey, you watch this, so now you feel this, or it's in your mind.
Like
Once
low
again,
frequency.
it's all mind related though. Even the smallest of things are mind related, because if they can just twitch that one chemical in your brain to make you feel or think or do something different, than, like, you know what I mean? It's all a mind fuck, bro. And I don't really know the answer. I just think that it's weird that, like, there's people in this earth that's what they look for. Like, I don't know. It's not in my mentality to just do that to people. You know what I mean? I don't get
Yeah.
that type of shit.
Yeah, it's whack.
So it's a weird society, bro, in a sense. But
Almost fake, right?
yeah, it does
Kinda
feel
like,
like that sometimes.
yeah, kind of like maybe like fake friends, for instance. We're gonna cut to another ExZackLee clip, ladies and gentlemen. 1, 2, 3.
Giambi, I'm feeling better than ever, with or without the cheddar, cause I love myself internally. This for all the poets who express it while they journaling, through my struggles hurdling, holding cheese until it's curdling. That's blue cheese, then flip that for new cheese. Thinking back to when I moved peas, knew a few B's and C's, at least that's what they preached to me. Knew some Muslims who would run that bag up, certainly. So thankful for the conversation I had with Kareem. Shout out the Ream, and that was on South Kentucky. Got out of there unscathed, boy, I'm so lucky. Never said I was a plug, but I knew some plugs, yeah, they was close to me. Learned from them what to do and what to not. I never been a have-been, but was once a have-not. Hard head, chest hollow when you knock. Only God could put a stop to this. Watch for the true who become a businessman with a plan. Ooh, that sounds so lucrative. Open-minded, creative, closed-minded. If we don't speak the same language, I just now started saying what I have been thinking. So focused, I can't take a second to blink. Might miss my chance. Wonder if I'm gone today, who gon' miss my ass? Who can kiss my ass? I can die today, knowing I follow my path. Rarely follow the trend. Never had to pretend. Never had to pretend. Haven't heard anyone better since I picked up a pen. I pull it deep from within. That's why I'm destined to win. Don't care about fake friends. They come and go with the wind. Said I could fear no man because a sin is a sin.
All right, so what clip did we just watch right there?
That's like the end of 104 Bars is a song I just dropped a couple weeks ago. It's out on all platforms, all
Oh, yeah.
DSPs like Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube. And the video's out on YouTube as well. 104 Bars, yeah.
104 bars. You heard it, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be at the top of the description in the video if you want to go check it out. It has just been dropped, so make sure you go and check that out. ExZackLee, what are your plans for the upcoming year, man?
Just work, man. Put that grind in, bro. I'm trying to get my feet wet again with the music, you know. I took a 3-year hiatus, essentially, started going to school. Now I'm almost done school. But just grind, get in shape. I'm trying to get back in, high school. I was playing sports shape, health is wealth. And just putting it out there, merch coming out, new music coming out, getting my name out there, hitting the roads, as many shows as I can knock out, and just really building back on my ambitions. That's what it is, man. It's the ExZackLee takeover, bro. And it's exactly what the game needs. And I'm just here to get it out, get it out and get it out the mud and get it out so I can show my kids how you can accomplish your dreams, bro. That's what's going on this year,
Exactly.
And at the same time, with 5 kids, shit, bro, every day is a new day with we don't know what the fuck's about to happen.
It's going to be a surprise every day along the way. 365 is what they say.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But it's beautiful.
Man, I wish you the best. I'm going to have you on the podcast again here soon. We have a lot more to talk about. I know you got a lot of stuff to do tonight. Obviously, with 5 kids, we got to stay prepared, ladies and gentlemen, because if the Doritos bags start manifesting, bro, we're going to need the experience of ExZackLee, and we're going to need some more information. We're going to need the perspective in order to survive. So, holla at your boy. Thank you, man, for coming on tonight. Obviously, we're going to see you again. Any last words?
Man, I just want to say thank you for having me on the podcast. We've been talking about doing this for a while, bro. So it was cool to actually make it happen. Go check me out. Follow me on Instagram, X, formerly known as Twitter, at I am ExZackLee. Instagram at I am ExZackLee. YouTube is just ExZackLee, ExZacklee. And yeah, man, I just appreciate you. And I love the topics that we talk about because I feel like you have that mindset. You talk about shit that a lot of people don't want to talk about, or they don't, but it needs to be talked about regardless, because there's no way that all these people are saying the same shit about the same things and there's not some truth in it, So I think it's dope. Definitely.
Thank you, brother. We always try to ride a fine line here between getting canceled and telling the truth. So thank you for coming on tonight.
Yes, sir.
Round of applause for ExZackLee.
Thank y'all, man. I appreciate it.